Hi, I'm Liam Royes. I'm General Manager at Orbis Global.
And I'm Patrick Davis, a Solutions Consultant at Orbis Global.
And we want to talk to you today about multi-channel marketing, and in particular how it's causing some misalignment in many marketing departments and customers of ours, and how you can get aligned to improve your channel marketing and obviously improve your results. Firstly, what's fairly obvious in marketing, I think we all know this, is that there's been an explosion of channels available to marketers to use to reach a consumer. In the old days, it was just TVCs, radio, above-the-line kind of channels. And of course, then from there, we had a lot of direct channels such as direct marketing, which has been around for quite a while now, or direct mail, I should say. And the web has now been around for about 15 years and is obviously a big area for use. And what we're really seeing now in terms of channels is a lot of these social media channels alongside the email. So Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, etc. And of course, there's many more, Google Plus and whatever it may be. There's a huge array of channels available to reach a consumer. What's also making this more complex, I guess, is that it's not just outbound marketing anymore. We're not just sending messages out to consumers. We're looking for the inbound marketing as well. We're trying to capture a consumer as they take an action, as they search or find something out about our company, and trying to give them the next best action and the right offer at the right time and the right place. And this is causing a lot of confusion, a lot of lack of alignment across different teams, across our marketing departments, and we are seeing a lot of that. And we're going to talk to you a bit about how you can approach that to make it more aligned.
To give you an example of a customer of ours, a major telco that's actually doing this quite well, they have implemented an MRM system to assist them in performing quite complex and strategic multi-channel marketing campaigns. A recent campaign that they have just actually taken to market involved pulling specific information about a demographic within their customer base and targeting them with an SMS. The SMS was actually synchronised with a media plan. So there was a distinct advertising for the particular offer within television programming, which that particular demographic would be watching. Again, this advertising all was tied into their social media campaigns also. So there was links from YouTube, Facebook and Twitter back to the web page where the customers could actually access the offer that was being specifically targeted towards them.
And this is probably a fairly common scenario that you do start to see a lot more around different marketing departments and the approaches being taken. While this is happening, what's tending to happen across these marketing departments is that teams are becoming misaligned. So our little football diagram here is really just an illustration of how marketing teams and marketing stakeholders really need to work together in one way, know where the handoffs are, know what the goal is, what they're trying to achieve, and work together to achieve those particular goals. But unfortunately, all this newness of this digital and direct channels really is causing some problems. So really what we tend to see is that this team here, this digital and direct kind of area, really is something that's sort of been lobbed into these different companies. So, and there's all this new strange language that people need to learn about data briefs and understanding segmentation and offers and all this sort of stuff that marketers traditionally wouldn't have known much about, or certainly not the old school sort of marketers. We also see a lot more stakeholders. There's web development, and in some ways the web guys are kind of over here sitting on the bench because they're waiting to be told what to do, but they're also doing a whole bunch of other things. And we see that a lot particularly with our customers, where they use the web a lot for their marketing. And this is causing a lot of issues across some of our customers, and Patrick has an example of that.
So recently, a consumer customer of ours had an issue with a product launch that they performed. Effectively, the product team was driving the marketing at the time, so driving the campaign. They'd organised a major PR event, invited a lot of media to come along and witness effectively the product launch. Unfortunately, they had actually moved the launch date forward, but because there was a lack of visibility or siloing across certain different teams, the digital team didn't actually have enough time to pick up the change of date to actually get the content required up onto the web page. So as the launch went through, people from the media were trying to access further information from the web, but it just wasn't there.
It's a fairly classic case. The direct and digital team had a particular process. They would say the process wasn't followed. But equally, on the other side of marketing or within the marketing team, they might say, well, we don't know how to follow your processes. And that's a fairly common thing that we are seeing. What we're also finding in many of our customers and in the market is that there's there's a lot of new approaches to marketing. So with these channels, it means that we need to think about how we actually approach the planning and the development and the execution of these marketing programs. This is a fairly classic idea of where teams need to get together and look at their segments and their targets, think about the data, and obviously in more cases than other, data is not always used, unfortunately, but it's more and more it is being used. And planning is done together in these cross-functional teams, where traditionally a marketing plan was an annual event and it was all of these different campaigns that we're going to run. That doesn't work so much anymore. It's more of a short-term thing that's needed, and it's cross-functional. You do need digital and direct involved, you need targeting, you need to coordinate this around one marketing plan. What then tends to happen now these days is that plan essentially makes the decisions about what offers and what channels will be used in our go-to-market strategy. And that's agreed upon across all these different cross-functional teams. And you can see how that then is decided on, and that becomes the channels at which we go to market. The big problem here, the big challenge, is that each of these channels is quite different. So SMS, banner, TVC, Facebook, whatever it may be, all of these different go-to-market strategies as part of one campaign actually are done across a completely different kind of time frame, and that causes a lot of issues around how we can coordinate our launch strategy.
So certainly, as what Liam is saying, you can definitely see that as these channel activities are determined, each one of these processes will have a pretty distinct and defined workflow process that needs to be performed to actually generate the market executable. So whereas an SMS campaign may only have a requirement to write copy and gain some customer insights information, a TVC campaign would require a lot more, I suppose, in-depth media briefing, budgeting, different types of shoots and approval. So it can be quite complicated to actually, I suppose, differentiate between all of the different channel activities and specifically who's actually involved in what particular part. So definitely within the Orbis MRM environment, we do have the ability to strategically plan out all of our different types of workflow process, but also to be able to assign different resources to different sections of that particular process as well. So we do get, I suppose, a resource capacity view, which allows us to identify when people can actually be working, if they are working at their full capacity, if there's room to perform more function, or if they are actually overworked and it's going to cause bottlenecks within the processes.
One example of that would be in the web development team. How do we know all of the inputs they're getting hit from every side? How do we know that we can even fulfill that? Or in the campaign management team, they've got to extract a number of lists. All of these things take time. If we can't fulfill the plan, then it's not a good plan. So we need to think about that. And obviously what Orbis MRM is able to do is to provide that view and let managers of those fulfillment teams make decisions along with marketing about what can be achieved within the plan. Sitting on top of all of this is a calendar. So Orbis MRM provides a marketing calendar, and that essentially wraps up all of this channel activity, all of the information about the different resources who are doing the work, and gives us one single source of the truth. That's a completely configurable calendar that's flexible around each customer's different needs. Okay, so how do you approach it? If you're feeling this kind of pain, you're feeling as if maybe your teams are misaligned and you want to achieve more alignment for more effective channel marketing and better outcomes, how do you approach it? In our opinion, the best approach is to firstly define the positions in your teams. Clearly lay out who the teams are, what their roles are, and how they should operate. For example, marketing these days, or P&L kind of product people, really should just be thinking about objectives and outcomes and strategies. The CRM and campaign management team should be thinking about the best approach to targeting customers, and the creative should be worrying about the creative. Make sure that's very clear across all the teams.
Secondly, it's very important to define your marketing domain. And so while it does sound quite simple, it is actually very important to make sure that the definitions of different business objects across all of your teams are the same, so they align together. So in terms of what do we actually call a campaign? What is a campaign? What is a launch? What is a product launch? What's a pricing? What's an offering? Or what's a channel activity?
Yeah, these things can get quite confusing. Sometimes it sounds like it's stating the obvious, but what one person calls an offer may be completely different to what another calls an offer. So it's very important to get that defined. Simple enough exercise, but worthwhile doing. And of course, the third thing we really passionately believe in is that you need an MRM solution. preferably the Orbis MRM. What MRM provides you is, of course, it's marketing resource management. So it is helping you to get aligned. The resources are your people, your team, your money, your assets. And having one calendar, one single source of the truth, one process of developing that plan, and multifaceted workflows around your channel activities really will help you get aligned and get you to market faster and with more effective marketing ultimately. So my name's Liam Royce. Thank you very much for spending some time with us.
And I'm Patrick Davis. Thank you very much.
Thank you.